So I'm back. I just got back last night from my trip to California, my first triathlon. Um, so here's how it went down. I drove on Friday, um, got there on Saturday, went to the site, checked it out. Um, Nothing was set up yet, so wasn't sure exactly where the course was, but I got a little bit of lay of the land. Um, Went to sleep Saturday night, woke up 5 o'clock, um, packed up the car, um, got ready. Race was at 8:30. I got there about 7, um, and um, it was cold. It was, I don't even know, 5, uh, 55 degrees maybe. But everyone's saying the water was warm. The water was about 60, 65. Um, I was shivering already. I wasn't even in the water. I didn't know if I could do it. I don't do really well with cold, especially cold water. So I um, standing around, set up my bike, and here I am, and all these people have their gear and they had transitions set up, and um, I have a canvas bag with some stuff in it, and they all have their towel laid out, and everything's laid out, and they know what they're doing. And I was like, I have no idea what. I'm so unprepared, and I was just was cold. So much was running through my mind. At one point, I sat in the car and I was ready to leave. I was gonna go. I was like, I can't do this. I'll drive to my brother's, go see the kids, spend the day with them. Um, I can't do this. I was like, no, you have to do this. This is why you're here. So I did it, and chatting with some people, and everyone was really nice. And a couple people, I told them it was my first time, and giving me pointers and what have you. And so we get on the put on the wetsuit, move down to the water. We get the whole spiel about how the race is going to go. Um, Mind you, it's the first time uh, swimming with the wetsuit, so I didn't know what to expect. Um, Knew that the water was. I thought it was going to be cold. Didn't realize how warm a wetsuit actually keeps you. So I got in the water. It was like, oh, this will be fine. Um, Blah blah blah. All this stuff happens. So the spiel goes on, and the horn goes, and everyone's off. And I get in the water and I start swimming, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually I can do this. Um, the the wetsuit kept me. I was really worried about sinking, not like drowning, sinking, but because I swim, my hips drop. So the wetsuit kept me up above the water, which was really helpful. So took a few, strokes. I swam for a bit, and in my head, I was like, oh, this is okay. I can do this. And I wasn't super cold. Like I didn't even feel it. But after, a minute or so, and my body, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Um, because in my mind, I was really calm, was talking myself down and not trying to get too anxious, but um, I couldn't catch my breath. Um, and it wasn't a out of shape, out of breath. It was like anxiety. So, I would just doggy paddle for a little bit. Um, I couldn't see um, because I'm used to swimming in a pool with a lane. So as I would swim, I would veer off to the side, and then I would stop and try and sight the buoy and realize how far off I've gotten, and then try and veer back, and then and go like almost vertical. Like I just overcompensated too much, and I kept doing that, and I kept doggy paddling. I kept trying to catch my breath, and every time I realized how off I was going, oh, I just I couldn't breathe. Um, and a couple of times, one of the lifeguards that were on surfboards, paddling with us, and at this point, I'm the last one. Everyone's gone and hitting the buoy and turning around, and um, she's like, "Oh, I can give you a tow," and I said, "Is that a DQ?" And she said, "Yes," and I said, "No," and I kept going, and I probably a couple times I was just like, I can't do this, I can't do this, and yes I can, just keep going, and I got about 2/3 of the way to the buoy, and a major part of the crowd was heading back, and I turned around. I turned around. I didn't make it all the way to the buoy. I didn't make it to the turnaround, and I swam back, and so I DQ'd. I DQ'd myself. Um, and I should have just. And I thought, all right, well, I'm just gonna pack it in. I get back to the landing, and you know, there's people there, and they're like, "Oh, great job, way to go." And I couldn't pick my head up. I couldn't look anyone in the eye. I DQ'd, and I walked over to my transition station, and I should have technically just packed it up and left. And I said to myself, I have to finish this. I didn't finish the swim, but I'm going to do the bike and I'm going to do the run. I'm going to see how this goes. I have to. I have to. And I did. And so, and I was a little loopy, um, but I got on the bike. I did the bike course, which was tough. A lot of hills, steep hills, um, and really long. And I went, but I did it. I powered through, and I finished it, and I transitioned, and I did my run, which was a footpath through the hills, which was different. Um, Used to running on pavement or the treadmill, um, but I did it. I did it. I had to keep going, and so it. Initially I want I don't want to feel like a failure, but initially I feel like I failed. I didn't do it, um, but I didn't. I didn't fail because I learned my lesson. I learned what I need to do, um, and what I need to do is practice sighting. I need to get into the open water and get used to swimming in a straight line, um, and and um, and stay calm. And I learned my strength. I biked and I ran, and I knew I powered through it. I didn't let the mental game win. Um, so even though the swim wasn't a success, it was a learning experience, and that's really what I went there to do. Um, I learned what I need to do, how I need to set up my transition station, um, and I learned what it is that I need to work on. So um, it's not my ability. That was my concern. I have the fitness. The training is paid off. That's not the problem. It's all those other things. Um, so from here on out, as soon as it gets warm enough, I'm in the open water and I'm training and I'm sighting, and um, I'm gonna keep going. I'm not, I'm not counting myself out, um, and I'm proud of what I did. Um, like I said, I could have quit. and in a way I did, but I didn't count myself out, and I kept going, and I did the bike and the run, like I said. So was a learning experience. Um, I showed up and I got in there and I learned some really great lessons. So moving forward, um, just keep going. Got to keep going. Got to learn my strengths, learn my weaknesses, and that's all you can do. Um, so that's what happened. So I'm proud. I'm proud of myself. Um, and I'm not going to beat myself up. And yeah, it's a new day. It's the first day. Um, just get back on it, continue to do it, and I will be an Ironman.